Okay, okay.
Edgar.
All right. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. And today I would like to introduce Kuali.
Hi everyone, it's Kuali.
Okay, so Kuali is an indigenous figure, a community leader, and an activist whom I met at the detention center. How did we meet again, Kuali?
I noticed you had a motorcycle and you were recording and filming around the MDC detention center.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and so I wanted to bring on Kuali today to talk about what's been going on at the detention center, because we met roughly about a year ago, and it's been, let's just say it's been a development. Okay, but yeah, Kuali, so first thing I want to talk about today is when I first met you, you were running a page called Ice Out of LA?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and I believe it was because a certain community figure,
AK.
fellow activist AK, was locked up. Damn, I gotta stop saying but yeah. So can I ask, like, what happened there? Like, how did you get involved running Ice Out of LA's page for a brief moment, and how'd that end up?
Sure thing. Well, the three women from LA, well, at the time from LA, that some came from other states, they were arrested on some false charges that have been dropped, and they were put into jail. Well, they're known as the Baldwin Park 3, and they were charged with doxing an ICE agent, right? But it was dropped because it wasn't true. But they're still facing one more charge, and that is the stalking charge that they came up with at the last minute. And they're trying to appeal, in the process of appealing that right now. So yeah, that's how I ran the page, because AK and the other two went into jail, and AK asked me to take over the page and to take the roles of responsibilities like director for Ice Out of LA.
Okay. I noticed that's how I discovered more about you and found your page, because you were pretty much running Ice Out of LA for a couple months, right?
Right.
And bringing like some food to protesters.
Yeah, it was about 3 months period.
Yeah, I do remember that, guys.
I mean, we were there like every day, almost like through the week, like till Friday, from like Monday, Tuesday to Friday, and we're there like every night, every evening, and we were there protesting, filming, documenting, and definitely engaging the community is what we were focusing on.
Okay, nice. And the Baldwin Park 3, that's a real case. That's like the first case that's like for protesters during ICE, right?
Right. It's a very unique case, the first case of its kind. I know that some people have heard that ICE said that the ICE administration said that there was like so many doxing incidents against ICE agent. There hasn't been. It's just been one, the Baldwin Park 3. And Chrissy Nome at the time went on saying that their lives are so much risk and danger because of these doxers, but it was just one case, and it was false charges. So
okay, but the case was real.
It was real.
Okay, so
it is real.
So the Baldwin Park case 3 is real, but is there anything, or like, can I ask like what you think about like AK and like what happened there?
Well, since the beginning, there was a lot of talk about how Ice Out of LA is being run and who's in charge, and disagreeing. People didn't agree with how things were being ran at Ice Out of LA down at the MDC Alameda Detention Center, ICE Detention Center. And there was a lot of incidents and a lot of things that pushed people away at the MDC. People were complaining left and right. It seems that it's just that this group, Ice Out of LA, was being called out like all the time. So there was always that. And then we definitely had our issues that happened later, at a later time, which is why I ended up having to resign because of differences with her and I. So we definitely...
Okay. Yeah, and I was under the impression that ICE out of LA was kind of like the movement or like the page for the activists that were anti-ICE. And I'm seeing a lot of people like part ways or like speak out.
Right, it's true. It's true. So when I was there, I was under the impression that we were going to take action, direct action for the migrant community and fundraise for them and make an impact, like really make an impact for the migrant and affected families community.
Okay.
And that we were going to take action such as like make donations towards their legal fees or their groceries or something, right? That will really just make their lives easier because they cannot even work. They can't even step outside their home without being abducted. Impact. Right. But it turns out that we started noticing that we had disagreements with that because anytime I tried to bring up some certain direct actions, we couldn't agree on actually carrying those out. And she just had a different view of carrying of actions she wanted to do that didn't really they didn't align with me, and we just had to part ways.
Okay. Would you be willing to briefly name a few?
Right. So we and her had a falling out because of different issues, but definitely like I think that the focus needs to be on the migrants and the immigrant community, and their actions was more like focused on like the unhoused community, which is two different issues that they both need volunteers and attention, but one of these are obviously not funded, and that is the migrant immigrant community. So they don't have citizenship, so they're not getting the funding, they're not getting the attention, and they're very vulnerable. So I wanted to focus on that.
Okay, yeah, and I do see a lot of organizations and causes that try to help immigrant communities, like through food banks or like legal fees and just or buyouts. But what do you think about like a lot of these activist groups just having fundraisers to fuel their activism? You think that's productive?
Right. See, that is a major topic that we are trying to bring awareness to in the brown community, because let's face it, the brown community is the one that's being targeted or racially profiled down the streets of every city and state in the United States. So, I mean, this is affecting the household income and everything. So we need to be strongly supporting Buy Brown right now. And then it doesn't help when we have these individual organizations that come to LA or in anywhere really, and they set up their businesses or their nonprofits or their GoFundMes, and it's for themselves. And we're trying to let people know that that's not okay, because the money that's fundraised for migrants and immigrants, and if you're a volunteer, an activist that portrays yourself as someone that's an advocate for the immigrant community or the migrant community, you should be trying to center the migrant community, maybe fundraise for them, maybe maybe do a GoFundMe for the migrant community, not for yourself instead of yourself. Okay.
And I think there are some people that do that out there. So shout out to y'all. You know who you are.
Yes. Thank you so much to those that are really centering the migrant community, because actually more and more of us need to do that. And there's already existing organizations that we can look to and trust, and they have a credible like track record over the years of this administration, the previous administration, where they have been giving like so many resources and aid to the migrants and the immigrants. There really isn't anything to worry about. That like there's only one organization. Like ICE out of LA is not the only organization that is out there. So
there's so many organizations. Yes, so many. And I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like people are scrolling online, and there's people that support the detention center activists that are against ICE, but aren't there on the regular. And when they see like all this commotion and like fights and violence, what do you think about like people saying like anti-ICE protesters are violent and leftists and stuff?
Well, I think it definitely doesn't help when you are centering that type of behavior in the movement. And again, the attention and the work should go towards and center the actual affected, the vulnerable community. So things like unnecessary violence and calling for violence is not going to help the migrant community, the immigrant community. We have enough violence from ICE at the moment to worry about, and then people online are watching that certain activists or groups are, maybe provoking or agitating and posting videos about this type of stuff like on the regular. That doesn't really help, the movement, and people are going to draw their conclusions and say that, the liberals, the leftists or whatever, the Democrats, they're violent and,
Mm-hmm. Are you political?
I'm not political. I'm Mexican and indigenous.
Okay, so what do you think like the movement or the anti-ICE movement needs right now? It's been over a year, and the ICE raids are continuing. Protests are kind of dwindling because they used to be every day, like literally a crowd every day. Now it's like only like a crowd on the weekends.
Yes, I hear you. It does kind of die off, and with all the commotion and chaos and confusion happening and everything. So it's definitely not the way when we started. It was just like every day we had like 24-hour protests. We had a whole week straight of protests at June 6th, all that week when we were raided in LA. But I've concluded, and a lot of people too, I think, agree with me, is that we don't need to have massive protests. We don't need to have a ton of protests. Mm-hmm. What we do need, though, more of, and this is coming from myself and people in the community, that we're kind of taking a step back to reanalyze. We need more people to volunteer and organize ourselves in the community, because we need to be able to make networks of resources for each other, like the groceries, the legal fees for the lawyers. These migrants and immigrants, they need lawyers, they all need lawyers. And who's going to pay for those lawyers? We have to figure out ways to self-sustain our community in order to get those resources. We're not getting handouts, like we're not being given handouts from anybody. So this is why we need people to really step up. People in the community, in the brown community, people, allies, everybody should come together really to help out and find solutions.
Okay. And what do you think about like the thought that like LA needs to unite its like brown and black communities?
Definitely. And we have a historical...
Wait, Kuali, are you racist?
No, don't put that.
Are you racist, Kuali?
Don't put that.
You talking about race online on threads and stuff?
Oh my God. I'm gonna choke
Okay, no, okay. Can you share your thoughts on black and brown unity though?
That was making me laugh right now.
I heard you're racist, Kuali.
Going on Threads.
Tell the people you're not racist.
And Reddit? What the fuck? Prove yourself. No, so black and brown unity, yes. We need black and brown unity so much, but not just black and brown. We need black and Asian, like Dante here. We need black and white. I mean,
black and white. Sure.
I meant brown and white. We need everything. We need all of you, right? And
but LA is like mostly like Hispanic and African American. No, like it's a big part of it.
Like, yeah, a big part of it is definitely. So we really historically have had the pros and cons. Really, we have had a lot of unity in the past, but we've also had a lot of what do you call it? Division. Yeah, we've had because of the jail system. I think that was pretty much like one of the breeding grounds for the division when our people are sent into jail and then everyone gets divided in there by race. So when they came out of there over the years, we've had this division of stemming from that systemic in prison system, right?
In California jails only?
Oh, all over. Yeah.
Because I heard this rumor, like, I don't want to feed into the gossip stuff, but like I heard that it came from like California Hispanics, like more like prejudice towards black people. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just...
No, I think honestly, the colonizers that came here, they pitted us against each other since day one. And I could give you a few examples. Like since day one, the colonizers came here and they brought slaves from Africa. And then some of those were actually joining forces with the colonizers to control the native slaves here. So then obviously that pits us against each other since the beginning, you know, trying to survive, both people trying to survive under the Spanish rule, under the English rule. And we would have to do whatever we can, which is become their soldiers, join their armies. And, you know, we got like Buffalo Soldiers. We got things like that happened in history, all throughout history, then the jail system, etc. It's like, then the COINTELPRO with all the drugs that they infused into the poor communities. So it's always been like this nonstop construction of like delusions that we don't like each other, but really it was manufactured that way. Yeah,
it's all in the system, guys.
Yeah, ultimately, but we definitely have always had each other's back at the same time. You know, we came together during Civil War. We came together even before that. Mexico freed black slaves. Mexico freed everybody in Mexico, including the black slaves. And they were the first people to build the Underground Railroad to Mexico before the United States did anything like that or Civil War.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
We've always been like this.
Okay. And what is your message to like the black people in LA?
Black people in LA, we got to get together. Really, it's only going to get worse from here out. So obviously, we have that shared history of the colonizer targeting our communities. So we definitely need to build that resistance together. Because it's, like I said, it's only going to get worse. It's getting worse. And none of us can just alone just do it.
Okay. And do you have a message to the immigrant and indigenous community?
Yeah, please stay strong, and we can do this. We just need to do what our ancestors have always done here on our lands, is just resist the occupation, and but at the same time enjoy this better life that our ancestors provided for us. And just remember that Mexicans and Latinos, we have indigenous blood. We are native people, not illegal. We don't need papers. We have, you know, Native American genes.
Okay.
Yeah. We were here before borders.
Land back.
Yeah.
And also, while we're on the subject of different races and communities, I noticed in the past year protesting, of course in LA it's a melting pot. We see like all kinds of people standing up against ICE, but I'm noticing there's a lot of white people and white allies. What are your thoughts on the white support?
I think historically it's been a lot of support from the white community. The white community is really big, so it's been like split, you know, 50-50. Some are against, some are with. But ultimately, a lot of them have always stepped up to the plate. We've even had the lawyers fighting our cases that win and got us the laws established. So we have to acknowledge that we're nothing without each other, you know, all of us.
Okay.
Everyone, black, white, Asian. And then, but yeah, here in LA, there's a ton of support from the white community, white allies, and that is really a powerful, a beautiful thing. I like that. But in recent times, we're starting to see like these patterns emerge.
Okay.
You know, from
what kind of patterns?
Pause. I saw your face.
Sorry. All right. Yeah. All right, Kuali, tell us about these patterns that you've been observing.
Freaking Dante. Give me a minute. How'd you do that?
With your white allies.
Yeah, I've been noticing that at some of these events.
All right, no, just go.
No. I was gonna say they're either fucking violent or like.
All right.
No.
Okay. One more time. So, Kuali, what are your thoughts on like there's so many white allies here at MDC. What are your thoughts on them?
There is a couple things. Okay, I've noticed that some of the white allies are more like, we're doing the peaceful protest. We're doing no violence. So just stick to the plan. And then we got the other type that is, the more classic example of the white savior, which is when they come in, they get comfortable, they befriend everyone, and then they start to kind of like take the lead on the movement, try to make up their own protests, try to like center themselves and invite their friends to take up the space, like the spotlight.
What defines white centering?
Right. Well, when you are not really supportive of the brown community, their messaging, and you, for example, take over someone's speech, interrupt them, you want to talk because you want to talk, and you don't want to listen to what others have to say there. Instead, you feel like your message is important, and you might be not go about it the polite way. You might just be like, I need to speak, and I'm you can speak after me, and that's what happened to me at a recent rally. So, I mean, but there's plenty of examples like that. I mean, there's also like the violence that some of these white allies are actually out there provoking themselves, and it's not fair because they're not the ones that are there around the clock. Like at MDC.
But what if they're just trying to use their privilege for good?
Right. So your privilege should be used for good, but it should be like the role of a white ally is to make sure that you're supportive and that you don't misuse your privilege, because the white privilege is comes with power. It comes with resources that, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you can take over an event. You can center yourself. You can center your needs before others. You can make a spectacle. You can do silly things and maybe the community's not even okay with it. Like, you didn't even ask. You just have your own way of taking the lead on a lot of making the decisions, rather than actually organizing with the organizers in the brown community or getting their feedback or asking them what should be done or what is it that the brown community needs. Right.
So pretty much in a white ally, you would want pretty much them to be an ally and be a support
in a supportive role. That is very crucial. And if you wanted to be in like a leadership role, I mean, you would definitely have to work to that and get with the organizers about how to go about that. I mean, it would definitely be like you be involved, but we don't need any white saviors, though.
Okay.
We don't. And definitely the incident that I was involved in was an organized rally that I planned a few weeks ahead of time. And I was there giving my speech, but this midway into my speech, one of these protesters from Resistiku, he came up and was telling me that he wants to speak. He's gonna make some announcements and talk, and I would be speaking after him. So I immediately stopped him and let him know that was not okay, and that was not very polite. Especially as I was already in my speech too, and I wasn't alerted ahead of time or anything. So definitely, those are kind of the things you want to avoid when you're at a rally or at a protest. Is definitely don't be rude and don't take the mic, hog the mic, or center yourself. If you claim to be a white ally, make sure that you know what your role is going into the movement. Definitely.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of developments at the detention center. I just want to go back to ICE out of LA, or the person that was behind that page, AK.
Right. Well, definitely. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just there's a pattern of many people that have attended protests at ICE out of LA detention center. I mean,
where at? I know. ICE out of LA detention center.
Okay.
Just because you have the page doesn't mean you're like the movement,
Right. So.
But yeah, no.
Definitely. Okay, I'll say. I was gonna say.
No, let me say again. All right. Okay. So, what do you think, like a community leader like AK, and having people like not even sure where they stand, or like, no, is that even the right way to say? So, what do you think about people turning their backs on ICE out of LA, this page that people think is the movement?
Well, I think there's many reasons for that, and there's been so many people that went in and out of there, and but there are common things being said, and they are true. I've experienced it myself, and a lot of people I know and strangers I don't know. The patterns are that there is some aggressive behavior towards protesters that arrive there. There are like people chasing you out, trying to control you, trying to police you. There's people there, trying to say you're doing things that you're not, accusing people of things. So there's a lot of, there's some negatives. There's positive, there's some good people there that are very welcoming, and they're very committed to protesting there. But there definitely is some people that are not there for the actual cause,
What are they there for?
They're there for clout. They're there for footage, for videos to post online, to get views, to grow their account, things like that. They're not really there for the migrants. They're not really there to actually take action or do any organizing or support any organizing in any way. They're just there to live stream or.
Don't they have a fundraiser though? Don't they like have a GoFundMe?
Oh, so there have been reports of like. That GoFundMe that ICE out of LA has, and now they're coming to light recently. Some ex-members have dropped information about transactions that were allegedly not transparent, not approved. Money was spent, the donations were spent on personal expenses. And this is what ex-members are alleging. And they're alleging that...
that's crazy.
Yeah. Allegedly, the founder was in charge of the money, and they have discussed that and pointed out the discrepancies to her.
Wow, that is quite shocking.
Yes, and that is the time. Unfortunately, I can't speak too much about witnessing it. The other members have spoken to me about it, but I wasn't there. Those transactions occurred when I was already gone, so they took place when I left already. This is I resigned in 2025, and these transactions occurred in 2026. So I can't say much in the details. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's kind of like a repeat or like a small scale like BLM kind of thing where like people accuse them of taking money.
Right.
I know ICE out of LA is nowhere near as big as that organization, but yeah.
Definitely. So, but we have to be, you can't just go online, look at a page for the numbers and the amount of followers that they have. Because there are organizations that have been working, like I said, for years and have actually put in work and helped the migrants. And I can name a few. I can help.
Like LA Taco?
Oh, sure. I was going to say more like the ones that are well known and have been focusing on the migrants, like Border Kindness and like those ones, you know, that do water drops, do schooling for them, that pay legal fees. I was talking more about those.
Okay. Or like Union del Barrio.
Right, and the protesting orgs like Unión del Barrio, CSO. There's so many that you can join that you can trust, and you won't have these issues about, oh my God, someone stole the GoFundMe money and spent it on themselves.
Dang.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's not really about one organization, because they have a big page, a big following.
There's so many organizations out there, and you don't really know what they're doing.
Right, but it's just that looking at an Instagram page and seeing that they have a lot of followers shouldn't be a reason to donate to them. I just want to make that clear.
Use your intuition.
Definitely. And ask the organizers, the local organizers.
Okay. Covered a lot of things about the detention center, the anti-ICE movement, and the immigrant communities and activists behind them. Before we close out, Kuali, indigenous, do you have a final message to the people of LA?
Oh yes, so definitely keep resisting and supporting the migrants community and affected families, and look into organizations. And also one last message that's really like relevant right now is that calling out the harmful performative white centering, white savior behavior, and the provocateur agitators, and those people and individuals that are taking money and stealing money from the community, from the migrants that are so vulnerable and can't even work. That's not causing division. We are calling out the division. So do not gaslight those people that are actually speaking up. That's an issue that we're starting to see, is that some members in the community are friends with those individuals that are taking advantage, and you know they're not ready to call them out because they're friends. You know, but we cannot just turn a blind eye. We can't.
Hold your friends accountable if you're really a friend.
At the end, we're not here for your friends, we're here for the community that's vulnerable. Right.
Well said. Okay, thanks for coming on, Kuali. Woo!
I'm back. Forgot to say that. That's for another time.
Okay.
Catch us on the episode 2, Land Back. All right.
Land back and free Palestine. I just want to throw that in there. I know it's off topic.
Free Palestine. How do you do it? How do you do P?
Oh, let's do a thumbnail picture.
Palestine. I don't know.